Hello everybody, today we're doing a Scraplift. So the original page was created by Young Asan, hope I said that right, for Hip Kit Club, and we've been challenged to Scraplift it. So I have pulled out a photo of two Morporks, and they're kind of out, and I took that whilst I was in New Zealand. And I plan on going back to my favourite technique of the year, which is embossing and then doing watercolour over it. So I have a clear embossing powder and this sort of swirly, messy stamp. I'm going to stamp and emboss, heat it up with my heat gun, and then cover it in watercolour. So spray it with some water, and I'm using what's called potter's pink just to help pick out the bit of alliteration there, just to help pick out the embossing. I'm using a tissue just to blot up some of the excess water and then give myself a shot with a heat gun to dry it off. I'm going to do this technique probably about 3 or 4 times, and that way I get layers of colour, layers of the emboss on there, which I'm using as a resist, and it just adds to the depth of the page. So what I've done, I've really shrunk down the initial idea. It was originally a very large circle that took over the entire page, and now it's this dinky little thing in the corner. So again, as you can see, I'm just adding layers, and you can see we're starting to get a lot of depth of colour in here. So I'm going to go in with another shot of the embossing powder, and layering it up like this, I also get to trap some of the colour under the embossing powder. So that's not going to move at all. Some of it is static, some of it moves. And like I say, it just gives so much depth and movement to the page, which I love. And you can help the water out a bit by moving around with a brush and using the spray bottle and just making sure that the embossing powder has actually melted. That's the other thing. Now I'm drying it on the other side just to stop it curling so much. And now it's nice and dry, we are going to bring back in our Morporks. So glue first of all, because we always need glue. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add some mica flakes. Now these are part of my mixed media stuff, and I'm going to literally pop glue all over the page and then sprinkle mica flakes over it. A bit like glitter, just it's not sparkly, it's not shiny. It just gives a bit of depth, a bit of extra texture. I'm using this little bamboo stick to give me different like little bits of mica in different places. So once that's all dry, I'm going to dust it off and return any remnants to the tube. So you can see here we've got a few bits spattered around, not loads, but a little bit. I'm going to stick my Morporks down, and then we're going to work on some embellishment. Now I'm going to keep this really, really simple because it doesn't need lots of embellishment. The focus is really the embossing and the mica. Now the title's going to be Morpork because that's the name of the bird. Simple, explanatory. And I'm going to, I don't know. Yeah, I will wind up with some dots in there. I've got some of these little wood grain sequins that I've had forever now. And the hardest bit here was deciding what colour and what letters I was going to use to spell Morpork. When that's the hardest thing in the layout, you're doing well. Anyway, I finally settled on the yellow. So it's a buttermilk yellow by L's Studio. It's an old font, but it's really, really pretty. And some of these stars and a few little bits of enamel dots. Very simple. Scatter them around and call it quits almost. Well, once I've added a few stars because, the wood grain actually works in really well with the bird's feathers and I like the stars. So why the heck not? The very last thing, apart from these little bills that I put on and then decided I didn't like, so took off again, was a bit of spattering. Because, what else am I going to do? I've already got some mixed media on there, so I'm going to add a bit of spattering, which you will see in just a moment once I'm finished fidgeting with the letters. There we go. So instead of me adding loads of paint or using the spray bottle itself, I like to take the lid off the spray bottle and just use the pipette at the bottom just to splatter things on. It means I don't have a fine mist. It means that I can control a bit better whereabouts the splatters go, but they're still quite random. And any that are a bit too thick, I'm just blotting up there. And I'm going to let that dry, and that's the end of the page. So really quick, really simple page, and a lot of good fun. One extra embellishment sticker on there from what I had originally planned, and that's it. Like I say, that pink really does have so much depth, as you can see, and you know, it's not got a lot of supplies on it. So it's not complicated. Anyway, I hope this inspired you, and I hope you have a lot of fun, whatever you do, and however it inspires you. I'd love to see what you create. Take care and tag me on social media. Thanks for watching. Bye.